Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm going to be going over Nano Dimension and why I'm thinking about investing in this stock. So here I have their investor presentation that I found on their website. This is from September 2021. You can download it as well if you want to look at it. I took out some of the slides just because they were really repetitive, so this is like a very condensed version. Now, starting off, investment thesis. What are shareholders investing in the case of Nano Dimension? So first, what it is not. This company is not one that will show in the short term revenue and profit growth on a quarterly basis. And it's not a company that will pay inflated prices for acquisitions in order to accelerate revenue growth. So it definitely makes sense that this company is not going to be showing profit in the short term because they're very focused on growth right now. Now what it is, it's a company that will grow in step functions led by synergistic acquisitions, products and technologies breakthroughs, and they're going to scale up on both of these above into eventual superior revenue and ROI growth. Now, how are they going to do this? With investment in a balance sheet, which will enable the fulfillment of the following. So first, their vision. They want to transform additive manufactured electronics and adjacent additive manufactured sectors into an environmentally friendly and economic efficient additive manufacturing industry 4.0, which will enable a one production step conversion of digital designs into functioning mechanical and electronic devices on demand, anytime and anywhere. And their mission is to build an eco-friendly and intelligent distributed network of additive manufactured self-learning and self-improving machines, which will deliver a superior ROI to their owners as well as to Nano Dimension shareholders and other stakeholders. So this is pretty exciting. All right, the opportunities. So currently, there's problems with the industries of printed circuit boards, additive manufactured electronics, also known as 3D printing. So they have poor energy efficiency, they're eco-unfriendly, very wasteful, and not supporting of sustainability. They also have slow production time, high costs, and long time to market supply chain issues. And there's also the potential for intellectual property theft. Now, Nano Dimension has a solution to these problems. They want to resolve every inefficiency within traditional production methods, and they want to launch tech production into a new generation entirely. They're going to be more sustainable, they're going to be faster with prints performed in 24 to 48 hours instead of weeks, and they're also going to have unparalleled security with in-house manufacturing rather than offshore outsourcing. So this is going to help with intellectual property. Now, Nano Dimension, they want to modernize the factory. This is their goal. They want to do so just as other technologies have revolutionized other industries, such as like Instagram, YouTube, cell phones, Spotify. They think it's time for a revolution in manufacturing. Now they have a comparison, a historical comparison. The printing press exponentially accelerated and expanded the individual capacity for production and thus spurred the culturally monumentous Industrial Revolution. Similarly, Nano Dimension's AME 3D printing technology diffuses production capacity, expedites innovation, and fosters a renaissance and paradigm shifting in a half-century-old analog industries, non-integrated circuits, electronic devices, and PCB. Alright, additively manufactured electronics. So this is the definition of them. It's a process of using additive manufacturing, also known as 3D printing technology, to create functional electronic circuits. And the benefits of this is that it removes many of the challenges of the intensive traditional printed circuit boards manufacturing, which is a 70+ step process. while also allowing completely new designs. So this is a graphic of the old process. There's all these steps that go into it, and this is the new process. It's pretty quick. It's pretty much like you just make it, you inspect it, and then you can just ship it off, which is pretty crazy to think about, but you'll see that in some later slides. Now, how does this work? Basically, the additively manufactured electronics, they're 3D printed by machines, and like all the metals that go into these boards, they're printed along with the plastics or whatever material is needed to make them. Whereas traditionally for these circuit boards, you have all these steps. You have to start out with the plastic, and you have to drill holes in them. You have to solder all this metal on them. All this craziness. But now they want to just be able to print it. So this is their machine, Nano Dimension's machine. It's called the Dragonfly LDM 3D AM electronics printing system, and it can produce HiPEDs, high performance electronic devices, and complex circuit boards. And then this is another one of their machines that they acquired last year, but this is just for ultra precise micro 3D applications. So we're going to be focusing on this, on the Dragonfly LDM. Now, as we said earlier, the Dragonfly produces high quality PEDs and complex printed circuit boards. So these are examples of some of the HiPEDs and the circuit boards that they can create, and they're pretty crazy. Like here they're saying that they can make circuit boards that are 50 layers, and they're just printing them. They don't have to make each one, they don't have to make each layer or anything. It's just all printed. And it has fast prototyping hours versus weeks. There's tens of layers in a 3mm board. It's printed, as we said earlier, with embedded components, and it can expand 3D scales. Now, there are challenges to the adoption of 3D printing. Scaling 3D printing is not trivial, because there's quality consistency, slow production speeds, the accuracy of when you're printing, materials development, the post-processing, and the system maintenance. So basically, to solve all of these challenges, Nano Dimensions made a strategic acquisition of this company called DeepCube, and they acquired this company for their deep learning and machine learning technology to be applied in synergistic areas across additive manufacturing. So basically, they're going to solve all these, like a lot of these problems, like the quality consistency, and like the accuracy, the slow production speeds, the system maintenance. They're going to solve a lot of these problems by using AI on their machine, on this Dragonfly machine. So basically, this AI, as with all AIs, it's self-learning, self-improving, and has self-correcting algorithms. And it advances the technology by generations, and it's going to erect barriers for entry and competitive edge for competition. So, with this AI acquisition, Nano Dimensions are going to be far ahead of the competition in the 3D printing space, and it's going to be very difficult for these other companies to catch up unless they start doing the same thing. Now, Nano Dimension has a global operation. They have sold over 60 of those machines, and they have a headquarters in the USA. They're originally from Israel, and they also have sales organizations in the US, Asia, and Europe. And they also raised, almost $1.5 billion by being listed publicly on the NASDAQ. They've invested over $80 million in research and development, and they commenced a synergistic merging and acquisition program. They acquired DeepCube and also as we saw earlier here, they acquired this company so they can do ultra precise 3D printing. Now here, for the total market in 3D printing, Nano Dimension has a promising outlook. So here, if we see the global 3D printed electronics market, it's projected to have a 21% compounded annual growth rate from 2021 to 2028. So that's pretty good. Now here it says the 3D printed electronics market size is expected to reach 592 million in 2021 and up to 2.4 billion in 2025. So that's for the 3D printed electronics, and then this is just for the over here, the 21% is the global 3D printing. So it's pretty good because from 2021 to 2025, in a 4-year span, this market size is basically supposed to, almost 5x. That's pretty crazy. Or more like 4x, but still, that's pretty crazy. Okay, so why should you invest now? Well, Nano Dimension's products have high gross margins and recurring revenue from system sale, the 2 machines that we saw earlier here, the service contracts and consumables, in other words, materials. So here, this is gonna be their main machine that they sell, and they're selling it for $450,000, and the other one for $350,000. So, these machines are not cheap by any means, and also the materials that are needed to print all the stuff that these machines are going to make. They're going to be selling both of these to their customers. Now, from the materials, they're estimating recurring revenue of 10 to 15% per machine per year. So that's pretty good. With an estimated recurring revenue of $50,000 to $100,000 per machine per year. So that's it. It's a lot of money. It's pretty crazy to think about. Now, Nano Dimension business value is expected to rise with investments in M&A, commercialization, and R&D. So here they're saying the S&P 500 year-over-year growth rate in the last 5 years was 20%. However, Nano Dimension in the next 5 years, they're expecting 100% year-over-year growth. So even though the global 3D printing is only supposed to grow 21% year over year, and then here it says the 3D printed electronics market from 2018 to 2026 is supposed to grow at 44% year over year. They're saying that their company is going to grow 100% year over year. So they're going to be growing, pretty darn fast. They're definitely going to have a large market share in the 3D printing space. And then here's some of the timeline of what they're trying to do. Here in 2022, the deep learning, machine learning integration. So this is where they're applying their AI. So this is the start of something new, and over time it's just going to be exponential growth with this AI learning. Now, Nano Dimensions is investing heavily in the sales, marketing, and support groups in all geographic regions. So, what they said earlier, like Japan, the US, the UK, or Europe. So, they've been scaling their numbers, or they're going to scale their numbers. So here, from Q1 2021, they had around 100, Q3 2021, or almost 200, maybe like 190. Q1 2022, this is where they're going to see the most growth. This is going to be around 300, and then by Q3 2022, so later this year, they're going to have around 500. Now, their current customers by the industry, so they have a lot of defense customers. They have aerospace. They have the U.S. military. That's pretty good, and then they have some research institutions. So, and this is what they're really focusing on, is a lot of research institutions and defense. So they definitely have some strong customers here, but not anything in like the commercial space. It's all these defense companies, research companies. So I'd definitely like to see them expand some more. Now, they're building a commercial division, as we saw earlier, with the ability to reach and service customers globally, including growing Florida-based USA HQ. And Nano Dimension is focused on commercialization of products by investing heavily to populate the market with 3D printing fabrication machines ASAP and preempt seeds of competition. So I definitely think, like I said earlier, that I wish they, start moving into other customers. I think they're definitely going to be doing that with, the increase in their sales team, because with 500 team members, they're going to be able to reach out to a lot of potential new customers. And, they want to get these customers before other companies can get to them, because right now they have the upper hand with, their AI acquisition, and, they have the machine, and, they know what they're doing right now. So, if they can get their foot in the door first, then, they can pretty much lock in these customers. And like we saw earlier, these customers are going to be paying, every year for having these materials. And, if they don't buy these machines outright, if they're just like renting them, which I don't know if that's what they're doing or if they're just selling them, but if, for example, they're renting these products, and then also with the maintenance of these machines, that's a lot of money that they're gonna have. This is probably gonna be a pretty sticky business, which is pretty good. And that's what we want to see. Now they're gonna focus on their expansion and on the U.S., Asia, and Europe, with an emphasis and presence in the U.S. and Europe through trade shows and partnering with research institutions. So yeah, I guess they're gonna be focusing a lot on research institutions, and then they want to reinforce the Asian Pacific markets through partner organizations and on-the-ground marketing and sales professionals. So this is what they need all these people for. They're going to be going in person and talking to all these potential new customers. And that's it. So I definitely think there's a lot of positives about this company. I definitely think right now they're in their beginning stages of their company. They're really trying to grow, like as any growth company does. They're investing heavily into themselves and really trying to grow this company into something that's going to be huge in the future. And I definitely think that they're on the right path. So I'm definitely considering investing in the stock right now. Invest a little bit early before they really start making product, or before they really start making profit, and before they have a lot of customers. And then definitely, if I see this company staying on track and just growing more and more, then I'll definitely look into investing more and more over time. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.